Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome back to Moon Acres. It is cold and dreary outside. It's been sprinkling and just super gross. We've got a cold snap coming this next week, and temps are going to drop. It looks like that's kind of going on across the country, and a lot of people might have questions on what do I need to do to make sure my birds are safe. Now, one big argument is that chickens can adapt to pretty much anything. They can live in Alaska, they can live up in New Hampshire, whatever, and that's very true. But those chickens have time to adapt to those circumstances. If you're having unseasonably cold weather, like for us, this is going to be the coldest sustained period we've had all winter long, and our chickens just aren't acclimated to that. So I'm going to hook them up a little bit with some stuff. I'll show you when we go outside, but I'm starting here in the shed because it's nice and it's out of the weather for a minute. But I want to show you what we're doing for our chicks. They are about, I think they're almost 5 weeks old. They'll be 5 weeks old tomorrow, and I'm so ready to put them outside, but we're having this cold snap, and I'm worried that that might kill them. So we're keeping them in a little bit longer, and they're gonna be fine. But we have them in our totes, and let me show you kind of the setup here. You may have seen this already before, but we split them. So one tote has 6 and the other one has 5. But we make sure they've got plenty of good bedding in there. They've got their water kind of up on a platform, and then their food is underneath where the camera is here. You'll see in a minute. And they've got a plate heater that they're kind of up against there on the corner, not the corner, but the side. See how many jump out. This will be exciting. But see, I've got the plate heater just kind of hanging with some 550 cord tied to the holes there on the container. And everybody's doing good. They've got room to move around. At night, we take the food and the water out, so they've got plenty of room to kind of stretch or clump together or whatever as need be. And then on top, we just take an old beat up beach towel and put that on top, and I'll cover it until just a little bit like this. I'll leave a little bit of a gap about yay big, just so they have some ventilation still. And that heat, the plate heater in there has 2 settings. It has a low and a high. So at night we'll put it on high and just kind of keep an eye on them, see what they're doing. If it's getting too warm in there, we'll put it on low and just watch that. But they've been doing really good, and I think they'll be fine. So they're getting pretty feathered out, and if it wasn't going to be so cold for so long these next few days, they'd definitely be going outside to the coop. But anyway, so those are our chicks there. Yeah, freak out. But let's go see about our big birds outside here, and I'll show you kind of what I did. So we have about 20 that will all get together inside of this coop. I made this out of leftover fencing material, like picket fencing stuff, and that was awesome. It came together and they really like it. We've got one of the old Tractor Supply ones over there, and it's abandoned. Nobody sleeps in that one anymore. They all get together in here. So anyway, we do the deep litter method, and some people say it provides a couple degrees of heat, and it might. I just do it simply because I'm lazy, and we don't like cleaning this thing out all the time. It works. All you do is sprinkle some fresh litter on top of there, and you're good for several months. But anyway, just keep an eye on that. If it gets gross, if you think your birds are getting mites or stuff, then you're gonna have to clean it out and start over, but that's okay. It doesn't last forever. But so we've got some fresh bedding down. I've went and got another one of these plate heaters, and I've got him just set up in the side, and he's on some feet, and so that's the furthest away from the bottom, the entrance. And oh hey, sorry, didn't mean to interrupt, but anyway, and hopefully that heat will gather and kind of build up here where they all roost. So on the outside, I did this earlier, just getting ready for winter. This was several months ago, but I just took some Visqueen, some plastic wrap, and stapled it to the side because, again, it's just fence pickets, and so there's a lot of gaps, and that's just a little too drafty for the chickens during the winter time. So anyway, but our birds are just soaking wet. They're a mess, and that's the only time that I really get worried about them. We had some snow, we've had ice, things like that, And I'm not worried about it because they're literally like walk-in down jackets with a little heater on the inside. And so they do a really good job taking care of themselves. But when they're super wet, think of like a down sleeping bag. You know, if that thing gets soaking wet, it's not doing anything for you, and you can't heat it up because all the insulation is all stuck together and you don't have that dead air space. So times like this, I will put a heater in there, and that just helps them to kind of warm up and dry off at night. But if it's not wet and cruddy, I really don't worry about it. So, but I think just as wet and nasty as it's been, they really need some assistance. So I was hoping they'd all come over here, we could see how gross they are, but that's all right. Maybe I'll take a picture and post it on here later. So, all right, y'all. But anyway, we hope you're doing good, staying safe, and we'll see you next time. Cheers.